Remember, 2 years ago, we had that wild, unexpected election cycle. This year, 2018, we had a wild, but ultimately, as you guys have been discussing, totally expected election results. Let's take a look, breaking it down as we stand this morning in the House of Representatives. Remember, the magic number here is 218 for the majority. The Democrats needed 23 seats to pick up net to take control. They end up with 230 Democratic seats. That is enough for Democratic control. So there, the Democrats are taking away the House of Representatives from the Republicans. It will be a Democratic speaker, most likely Nancy Pelosi, Speaker of the House of Representatives, and that is going to cause significant political challenges for President Donald Trump over the next 2 years, the last 2 years of his first term. Remember, Democrats are now going to have subpoena power up on Capitol Hill. They can launch investigations into all sorts of behavior that they don't like inside the White House. That is going to be a story that's going to drive politics in Washington for the next 2 years. But where the Democrats did not come up successful last night is in the United States Senate. Take a look at the Senate breakdown. Right now at this hour, we still have some seats out there, but the picture here is that Democrats needed 2 seats to pick up net to take control. In reality, Democrats have now lost seats. The Republicans have picked up 2 so far. They may not be done yet with those 4 seats now still outstanding to be determined here. 45-51 is the breakdown as we stand right now, but that number could change as we go throughout the day. The President of the United States, as we mentioned, his political fortunes hanging in the balance here. How did he respond to all this? Here's his tweet from early in the morning. Tremendous success last night. Thank you to all. The President was out on the campaign trail, relentlessly hammering home a message on immigration largely through the end of the campaign cycle. He views this as a win because his party didn't lose the United States Senate. That's as expected, but that is a Republican bulwark now against the Democratic House of Representatives. And that, guys, is going to be the storyline that we're going to be following for the next 2 years.
The Senate, I mean, even Tester, it looks like he's going to lose. If it stays the way it is in Arizona as well, Eamon, what would that, if they went all 4, what would they?
Well, I think you're looking at the possibility of 2 more Republican
only
pickups
2?
here, at
which
least. Yeah.
2?
Well, at least. Well, yeah. in Montana and in Arizona, you've got a Republican locking down with McSally, right? So,
right. What are you counting? I mean, you're counting McCaskill's gone, right? And Heitkamp is gone, and Nelson's gone. But but then the Democrats picked. I almost said you, but then the Democrats picked up Nevada, right?
Yeah, so ultimately what you're looking at here is Republicans not
like
only
4,
locking down
the House. Sounds like 4 or 5, doesn't it? A pickup?
Right. It could be a big day for the Republicans as we go through the morning here. So Republicans ultimately not losing seats,
Tester's
picking
up
seats.
Tester's a real surprise.
Tester in Montana, the Democrat, the famous buzz cut, he's a guy that the president went after really hard personally because he thought that was a weak spot for the Democrats. It turns out that was likely right. Now we'll see, where the numbers actually shake out. But the president, I think, now is in a position where he understands his political muscle out there on the campaign trail. He understands the messaging that works for him. The problem is he's now beginning a re-election process for 2020. And what's going to be the message that works for him in 20? Is that going to be the immigration message?
But that's what I was going to ask, in terms of just looking at the messaging, because the next 2 years, I'm not sure so much was going to happen legislatively anyway, but in terms of where you think the country is, what worked, what didn't. By the way, what worked do you think for Democrats in certain places, and what didn't?
Well, I think overall this was an anti-Trump message from Democrats. I mean, there's a lot of suburban districts out there where Democrats were frustrated with the president, angry, eager to get out to vote. A lot of Republicans sitting on their hands in districts like that, not enthused about the president's harsh tone. This election, I think, when we sift through the dust, is going to be a lot about women and young people, and I think that is some of the energy and demographic change in this country. That's some of the energy for Democrats in the House of Representatives, and we'll see in the next cycle. I've got to go look and see which seats are up next time around, what that portends for Republicans in the Senate. But for now, I think it's about young people and women last night.
A lot of the high-profile Democratic darlings didn't come through.
Beto O'Rourke didn't come through. Andrew Gillum didn't come through.
Right. We'll see what happens in Georgia.
I thought Florida was very interesting. I mean, that's
Nelson. I mean, wasn't he? How many terms did Nelson? Was this he was going for his 3rd?
I think he was 41.
How many did he already serve? I mean, Nelson's kind of a surprise. And God, watching the coverage last night, I mean, I was finding a hard time finding any coverage that I thought was, normally that's not the case. I was like a man without a country. But I mean, DeSantis, I thought DeSantis, they were building up Gillum so much. I thought he was going to win for sure, and he was ahead. I mean, that was a shocker when DeSantis and when Rick Scott pulled that out. I thought both of those were shockers.
I was just talking with John Harwood off camera about the poll numbers.
Oh boy, I can imagine.
And what happened? What happened in Florida with the poll numbers? There you see Andrew Gillum, Ron DeSantis. Andrew Gillum coming up just a little bit short. DeSantis, the apparent winner
that's
there.
A Trump
the difference is
effect
what,
there.
59,000 votes. Look, it's Trump.
Yeah,
it's
that's a Trump
I mean,
effect
this was
there.
a Trump election ultimately. Florida Senate. There you have
That's pretty
Bill
amazing.
Nelson. That's the one you're talking about. That is a surprising situation. Rick Scott looks like he's well on his way there, but that officially at this point, with 99% in, still too close to call. So we'll have to watch for that one.